Welcome to a special edition honoring the veterans in our country. My name is Vivian Kopsinja-Birchall, and my special guest is Maureen Asiimwe, a Ugandan immigrant from who has served in the U.S. military. Maureen, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Vivian, and thank you for having me.
And thank you for your service.
Thank you for having us as service people.
What does that mean to you, especially coming from a country like Uganda? What inspired you, first of all, to join the military, and what does the Veterans Day mean to you?
Oh, thank you so much, Vivian. As an immigrant, a person who comes from a country which is called Uganda, I feel so proud to serve with the U.S. military people, that U.S.-born people, you know, to be shoulder to shoulder without discrimination, without race, without religion, but just taking me as I am. That is an honor. And every time somebody says, thank you for your service, I feel I deserve it. And I feel fulfilled, and I feel that we are in one accord because we are all serving for the betterment of this country. And thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So what inspired you to become or to join the military in the first place? I mean, you could have chosen any other profession, but what pulled you to this service?
I wouldn't say that I had something particular, Vivian, to be truthful. I just was looking for a good job. And I started putting up my resume online, and I couldn't get the job. Everybody would interview me, but then they would say accent, they would say, we don't understand how to pronounce your name, and everything that would come with the roadblocks. So I call them roadblocks to success. But when I did put up my resume, a recruiter in Waltham, Massachusetts, contacted me, and I did not know what a recruiter's position is, and said, would you love to work for the Army? And I was like, yeah, what is the Army? So he gives me a rundown and tells me, come to office in 2 days. I'll be having a slot for you, and we'll sit down and talk about it. And I did go to the office. We sat down, talked about it, what it means, and he said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to do the legal, because from home I've been legalese, so I would love to stay in my field. I said, that we have. All you need to do is to pass the ASPAP, the PT, which is the physical training, and then you would qualify to go do your job. So they would train you to do your job. And I said, why wouldn't I do that? So that is how that gentleman who sat behind the desk and took time to call me, took time to go through the U.S. Army necessary equipment or necessary remarks that you need or ingredients that you need to get into the Army, did that for me. So I was very proud, and I did enter the Army in 2010. So that's how I entered the Army.
And to our viewers, Maureen, just to recap a little bit of Maureen's background, she was in the law field, or lawyer or attorney for the American language, or to adapt to the American language. And so when you got into the military, and did you continue working in the field of law, and what kind of law was that?
Thank you so much. Right now we work with the military justice, which is the JAG Corps. But to go back to 2010, when you enter the military, when you're a green card holder, you cannot just go into certain jobs. Mm-hmm. So as the recruiter told me, you will eventually get the job you want, but you need to first go through the jobs that we would give you. Mm-hmm. And so I had to pick the logistics 88 November job. And so I went in there, and I started out in Fort Irwin, California. And so this is where I did the logistic job, which is a transporter coordinator. And I used to coordinate so many people on the highways of California. You have to legalize them to move onto the roads. And so I moved up to go into the actual legal. Mm-hmm. And that is in 2013. So after 3 years, I was able to change my job and go into the job that I really want.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the things that you point out are very real struggles of immigrants. You know, when we come here with all our education from our countries, it doesn't really, you know, work
resonate?
Because there is so much red tape to entry into the workforce here in the United States. So I am so glad that at least you found a path through the military to still get back to
the
something
legal,
that you love to do. I mean, it's something that I certainly have encountered, you know, trying to get into the line of work that I enjoy to do. So back to your service.
Yes.
What is some of the memorable moments that you'd like to share with us?
I would tell you a lot of memorable moments. But in my service, like I said, I started out in a place which is called Fort Irwin, California. It's in the desert, but it was one of my favorite duty stations because most people thought that it's like a retirement center. But in those people who are going to retire, they teach the young ones, they mentor, they counsel the young ones who are coming up in the military how to behave and what to do and what not to do in the military and where to see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years. So my military taught me how to develop the 5-year rule and the 10-year rule, long-term and short-term plans. And that I learned from Fort Irwin, California. And in there, I developed leadership skills because I was a platoon sergeant. At the same time, I was able to lead people into how to do their roles. That is through the mentorship I got through my senior NCOs. I would not be where I am today if that mentorship never happened. I would have left the military and go be frustrated somewhere. But because I went into a unit, that MCT unit, very small unit, it is composed of 30, 40 people, but it's the unit that really embraced me, babied me up, pampered me, and brought me out as a soldier. So from Fort Irwin, California, I had the privilege of going to Germany, Kaiserslautern. In Germany, I was able to work with the Ramstein. Ramstein, Germany is an Air Force base. We were working still in diplomatic clearances because the army has to move equipment in different European countries, and we had to get them the permits, the legal documents that allow them to move. So I'm thrilled to have been part of that, Vivian, because I found that I moved 12 countries in my tour right out there.
Amazing.
And amazing. And every time we were always the first in and last out. So you had to make sure that everything is moving to a proper, to the T. You have to make sure that you dot your I's and T's everywhere you go. Attention to detail is one of the other things I got out of the military. I'm always very particular about certain things. And that being particular makes you sometimes unpopular because there are certain ways you want to do certain things. Yeah. But integrity, loyalty, duty, and respect, those values that they instill in us, the warrior ethos, come and make us more bonded into who we will be later in life. Absolutely. So Vivian, when I serve, I'm always so passionate to see another person serve. I'm into seeing more women join the military, more immigrants, and I'm really advocating for that in our community. So very much. So.
No, this is exciting, and you know, it's great to profile and highlight immigrants like yourself who have embraced this country and served this country, and we really, really are inspired by what you're doing in the community.
Yes.
Is there anything else that about your experience or about Veterans Day that we haven't talked about that you'd like our viewers to know?
Yeah, Veterans Day is special to us because it is a day that honors us who are serving and those who serve. Okay, and Veterans Day, you know, it's all about the November 11 Armistice Treaty. And it signifies, it brings out the pride. For us, we get that pride that I'm glad I did serve. I'm glad I was of use. To me, I find it that I'm of use to you, you know. And this nation is very beautiful. And this nation is what everybody needs to embrace because it embraces us, the immigrants. It embraces our families. It embraces our spouses in the veteran world, you know. All these people are beneficiaries of my service. So every veteran has a bulk family coming behind, a trail that they're leaving for the legacy of generations and generations to come. So this day is very significant because as I was out there at the Acton Town Hall today, I've been one of the people who have been out there, I was amazed at how they talked about these flags, the 14 flags. Their significance, their history, you know. It was so rich. And even I was learning for the first time some of these things. That is so cool, you know. Every time we have Veterans Day, I embed the community to go out there and learn some of these things because most of us don't know. Even those who know, think they know, they may have missed some bits and pieces. But when they do go out there, something changes. It's a notch. That is what the military or the veterans or anything in armed forces teaches you. You have to tweak and change a notch.
Absolutely. No, this is fantastic, Maureen. It's so exciting to have you here. It's exciting to hear you talk about your passion, your service, your community, and your patriotism. So on behalf of the community, I say thank you again for serving.
Thank you for having me.
And happy Veterans Day.
Thank you.
And to all our viewers, please say thank you take a moment to say thank you to any veteran in and around your communities and to your families who have served. Thank you for watching. Till next time.
Thank you.